Well, I met Blake. I worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. Look at the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
Hey there, my drama-loving darlings. It's your favorite bringer of tea, rolling out the red carpet to the juiciest Hollywood gossip out there. If you thought behind the scenes meant a couple of bloopers and some adorable selfies, brace in because today's dish is spicier than hot sauce poured over a jalapeno. On the surface, Blake's entire brand is sweeter than cotton candy soaked in maple syrup. I mean, think about it. She's virtually the poster child for huge beachy waves and that wonderful, oh, I just woke up looking like a goddess vibe. She's known for her humorous banter with husband Ryan Reynolds on social media, besties with Taylor Swift, living out real-life squad goals scenarios, and making the rest of us wonder if we could, maybe, just maybe, get an invite to their next fancy party. Honestly, she's the type of star that almost makes you wonder, does she even break a sweat? Or does she just shimmer elegantly? But honey, let me assure you that the golden exterior is not the complete story. Because beneath all the winks on late-night talk programs and the carefree stride down the red carpet in $1,000 heels, there's been a storm gathering for years. It's a tempest driven by on-set feuds, shady interviews, and behind closed doors. Drama so thick you could sculpt it into a modern art masterpiece. And let me tell you, the allegations flying around her troubles with Anna Kendrick and that classic feud with Leighton Meester, her co-star from a tiny show you might have heard of, Gossip Girl, ring a bell, are plenty to keep any drama hungry. Gossip Channel, like yours truly, completely supplied. So is our lovely Blake Lively the misunderstood queen of comedic timing and Instagram sarcasm, or is she actually the kind of coworker who stirs up tension so strong that entire film studios feel obligated to intervene? And what about these hush-hush reports that she's been surreptitiously blacklisted from some high-profile events? Seriously? The teapot is whistling and it's ready to overflow all over Hollywood's gleaming floors. So grab yourself something delicious. Coffee, tea, or a big old glass of wine. I'm not judging. And get comfortable. We're going to plummet down the rabbit hole that is Blake Lively's not-so-pristine Hollywood reputation. And trust me, by the conclusion of this film, you'll be contemplating if the rumors are just hot air or if they might be far too genuine. Ready to burn off those rose-tinted glasses? Let's do this thing. Anna Kendrick. The pint-sized force of sarcasm, comedic timing, and all-around I say what everyone's thinking intensity. She pushed herself into popular stardom with the Pitch Perfect series, but her real gift is a caustic brand of humor that can either seduce you or make you throw shade straight back. Now, on paper, partnering Anna Kendrick with Blake Lively for the 2018 thriller comedy A Simple Favor looks like a Hollywood dream. Two stunning ladies with comedic abilities. I mean, sign me up, right? Well, dreams turned into nightmares faster. Then you can say, awkward press tour. The tension between Anna and Blake reportedly started simmering years earlier, circa 2016 to be exact.
What are you most excited about in life right now?
Oh, I'm so excited about my company that I'm launching.
What's your favorite movie?
Wizard of Oz.
Movie you laughed the hardest through?
Shawshank Redemption.
If you could sing a duet with someone, who would it be?
An unplugged microphone.
If your life was a song, what would the title be?
Victory lap for those people that believe you get to live multiple lives.
Anna made an offhand comment about never being able to match Taylor Swift's America's Sweetheart character. She basically hinted she was too cynical for that squeaky clean brand, which is typical Taylor territory. So, for most folks, that was simply Anna being Anna. Tongue-in-cheek, sprinkled in with a self-deprecating mood. But if you're besties with Miss Swift, you might see Anna's comment as a covert attack. And who's besties with Swift? You guessed it. Blake Lively. Cue the side eyes and I know what you did stares. As soon as Anna and Blake found themselves together on the press tour, things went wrong fast. That press trip that followed was a public relations nightmare in slow motion. Anyone who watched their interviews could nearly sense the tension. You'd see Anna making these tiny jabs, maybe tampering with Blake's words, maybe correcting her mid-sentence. And Blake would hesitate for a half second before plastering on that $1 million grin. Meanwhile, the rest of us were thinking, did the temperature in here just drop 20 degrees? Or is that just me? One film in particular went viral. Anna and Blake sat side by side, exchanging forced small conversation that felt about as genuine as a cheap plastic counterfeit. Fans in the comments went bananas, labeling Blake the queen of mean girl energy, while others felt Anna was the troublemaker, purposefully ruffling Blake's feathers. In classic online form, the audience was split between Team Anna and Team Blake, but the widespread agreement was that something nefarious was obviously going down. According to a specific production insider, the tension behind the scenes was even thicker. Imagine having to tiptoe on set because your two starring ladies can't stand each other. The rumor mill says the studio higher-ups had to draw them both aside, like feuding kids in high school, and forcefully request, could you at least pretend to get along? We're dropping millions on this flick, and we prefer if the audience didn't suspect you hate each other's guts. Get spicier. Rumor on. The street is that Anna, known for her acute self-awareness, was keen to outshine Blake at every point. She reportedly apparently ordered the marketing staff to increase her cleavage on the film's posters, presumably so she'd match Blake's bombshell look. If you think that's petty, you're not alone. Yet, at the same time, it's a level of comedic pettiness that you can almost hear Anna joking about. If Blake's cleavage is out here dominating the poster, can we push mine up a little in Photoshop? Thanks. Blake, never one to be outdone, dropped her own subtle shade in interviews, quipping that Anna seemed nice at first, the ultimate backhanded compliment. Fans who'd been scrutinizing every micro-expression for months collectively nodded and murmured, we see you. By the end of the press circuit, rumor had it they'd practically cut off communication totally. If you watch certain interviews in chronological order, it's like viewing a slow-motion train wreck. The tension increases, the snarks get harsher, and at the final stop, they're forcing out compliments like they're reading off a cue card. Now, was it all just for show? Could this have been a marketing strategy to stimulate interest in the film? Possibly, but experts claim it was far from fabricated. This was an honest-to-goodness feud that left the set vibe about as pleasant as an office on a Monday morning with faulty air conditioning. And that, my friends, was simply the amuse-bouche. We still have the main course of drama waiting in the pool wings. Because if you thought Anna Kendrick was a handful, just wait till you hear about the blockbuster fight that unfurled between Blake and Leighton Meester during their Gossip Girl days.
Are you guys, but you guys are both of you have this attitude about you that
in real life, it's the other way around, and I constantly have to call Blake and be like, it's okay, you're good at giving interviews, I promise you, people like you, they respect you.
A lot of talking.
Gotta give her a pep talk. I'm like, we're amazing, we're powerful.
All right, beauties, before we plunge any deeper into these swirling oceans of celeb feuds, let me ask you a little favor. If you're living for this drama, if your jaw is already on the floor, could you do me a solid? Smash that like button like you're trying to text on an iPhone at 3 a.m. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and ring that little notification bell. Because I promise you, this is just the beginning of the wild ride. So go ahead, handle that, and then we'll jump right back into the scandalous world of Blake and Leighton. Now, let's hop in our time machine and journey back to 2007. Gossip Girl was the show redefining teen drama, inspiring fashion trends, and making the line, "You know you love me," an iconic sign-off. Blake Lively takes on the role of Serena van der Woodsen, the breezy, carefree bombshell who supposedly never encountered a problem she couldn't cure with an expensive purse and a lovely smile. Meanwhile, Leighton Meester gave us Blair Waldorf, the queen bee of the Upper East Side, who blended crafty plans with surprising moments of vulnerability. While fans were enamored with their friendship-turned-rivalry on screen, little did we realize that behind the scenes, these ladies were so remote they might as well have been filming in separate universes. As the show launched both actresses to tremendous popularity, speculation started that the animosity ran deeper than any storyline. Part of it was personality. Blake was, and still is, an outgoing socialite who lights up any room she enters. She's the kind of person who, according to insiders, likes being the center of attention and is up to date on every new restaurant opening, industry party, and brand cooperation. Meanwhile, Leighton is significantly more private, even withdrawn. She'd rather spend a quiet evening reading or working on music than schmoozing with the who's who of Hollywood. Now, this sounds like natural variances in character, right? But on a high-pressure set where your co-stars become your daily companions for years, little personality disputes can snowball into full-blown drama. Producers later confessed in interviews that while Blake and Leighton were friendly enough to get the job done, they were far from besties. The camera captured them as Serena and Blair, the ride-or-die duo who anchored the program. But the second filming concluded, you could nearly see them walking in opposing directions. And then came the moments that fans still talk about today. One that stands out has Blake making a really rude comment regarding Leighton's origins. Leighton, as some of you may know, was born while her mother was doing prison time for narcotics charges. It's a harsh reality, one that Leighton has never disguised, but also never used for pity. So imagine the universal shock when Blake purportedly quipped in an interview about acting in a cage while staring at Leighton. If the report is accurate, that's all kinds of cringy. Fans promptly called Blake out, labeling her remark callous and dumb. But that was simply a single spark in a bonfire of difficulties. Word from set insiders is that Leighton spent her breaks alone, either reading screenplays or writing music, while Blake chatted with makeup artists, cinematographers, and anybody else was within earshot. Some crew members gravitated toward Blake's vibrant atmosphere, others liked Leighton's quieter approach. Suddenly, you've got a fractured set with Team Blake on one side and Team Leighton on the other, both suspiciously eyeing the rival camp, like they're about to break out in a West Side Story dance battle. By 2008, the tension was so thick that it became a running joke among the show's staff, though I doubt either actress found it particularly humorous. A New York Magazine story even indicated that the ensemble was feeling the weight of the two protagonists' rivalry, portraying the atmosphere as a constant push and pull over who was the show's genuine star. It didn't help that as Leighton was trying to build a niche for her music career and smaller indie productions, Blake won high-profile partnerships left and right. She became the face of major businesses and started earning big film contracts in between Gossip Girl seasons, overshadowing Leighton in the media. The final straw seems to come when Gossip Girl finished in 2012. Cast parties and poignant goodbyes were allegedly the norm for most of the crew, while Blake reportedly walked out of major reunions and group photos. Depending on who you think, she was either done with the entire event or simply too busy living her best life. Meanwhile, Leighton flipped the page, focusing on her future, which, to no one's surprise, included scant mention of her old co-star. The two don't follow each other on social media, they're never observed at fan events together, and they sure as sugar don't rave about one another's jobs. Think about it. Gossip Girl was a cultural phenomenon that impacted an entire generation of TV enthusiasts, and yet its two biggest stars obviously can't stand the sight of one another, even years later. Fans are still desperately sifting through interviews or red carpet images, looking for some light of reconciliation, only to find absolutely nada, unless you include the purposeful avoidance of each other's existence. It's one of those Hollywood secrets that isn't actually a secret at all. Everyone knows they don't get along, but nobody in the industry dares bring it up too bluntly, or they be iced out by the powers that be.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it feels good when Anna gives me confidence, too. I like compliments. I'm not below compliments. That's what my mom always says. She's like, wants me to compliment her, and she's like, I'm not below compliments. I'm like, it's clear that you're not, because she's always soliciting.
Okay, because you were just telling me about like weird expressions that she gets wrong, wouldn't it be, I'm not above compliments?
Oh yeah, you're right.
So, if you're thinking, okay, so she might have stepped on a few co-stars' toes. Big deal. That happens all the time in Hollywood. Well, yes and no. There's stepping on toes, and then there's building a reputation that can actually start closing doors. Whispers say that could be occurring to Blake Lively as we speak. Case in point, the 2021-2022 Golden Globes drama. Rumor has it that Blake wanted to present an award, pretty usual for a performer of her caliber. But CBS and Dick Clark Productions gave her the cold shoulder. The version flying around the rumor mill is that they simply said, thanks, but no thanks, apparently due to her bad reputation. If that's true, it's a fairly huge deal. Award shows appreciate big stars. It brings in viewers. So for them to say no to someone with Blake's name recognition, that's a red flag the size of an IMAX screen. Exhibit B, the controversy surrounding. A simple favor. The original film starring Blake and Anna Kendrick was a quirky dark comedy that performed nicely at the box office. A sequel felt like a no-brainer until it got trapped in limbo. Whispers from inside Amazon claim the sequel tested well with early screenings, but then got indefinitely postponed, apparently because Ms. Lively declined to participate in promotional activities, citing unspecified legal difficulties regarding Justin Baldoni. But now, the specifics of that legal turmoil aren't totally known. The essential point is that if you're the star of the film and you refuse to do press, the company can decide it's not even worth releasing. Meanwhile, Anna Kendrick and Henry Golding, who were also banking on the sequel's success, are left in the lurch, and the entire production is virtually on frozen. Right? Some would call that petty, others might call it business. Regardless, it shows how a single star's refusal to play ball can sink an entire project, or at least force it into a holding pattern. And guess who gets the blame when a picture gets shelved? Typically not the lesser-known performers or the production interns. It's pinned on the biggest name attached. So while Blake likely walks away with her promised contract money and her nice life with Ryan Reynolds, Anna and Henry are stuck wondering if all that labor was for naught. At this point, you're probably thinking, is Hollywood finally over the Blake Lively hype? Nobody's claiming she's been blacklisted from every aspect of industry. She still appears up at fashion events, red carpets, and in the rare movie or cameo. But these incidents, the Golden Globe snubs, a rumored problematic label, a major film maybe lying dust, suggest the tide may have turned. People can only overlook behind-the-scenes drama for so long before it threatens to overwhelm any red carpet splendor. Now, the million-dollar issue is Blake Lively really that horrible, or is this just a storm in a teacup? Or should I say coffee, given we're dealing with the Hollywood elite? There's always a danger things get blown out of control. We know the media thrives on sensationalism. A raised eyebrow here, or a caustic remark there, can be spun into a full-scale fight on the gossip sites. Plenty of supporters rush to defend Blake. They claim she's a loving mom, a loyal friend, and that her sarcastic social media banter with Ryan Reynolds is the stuff couple goals' dreams are made of. They point out that Anna Kendrick is known for her caustic wit, so maybe the simple favor tension was Anna stirring the pot. And as for Leighton Meester, maybe that was just two polar opposite personalities forced to work together for 5 years straight. Who wouldn't get a little testy, right? But when there's smoke, there's usually a blazing luxury handbag. We can't dispute that several co-stars, executives, and industry insiders have hinted at Blake's attitude problems. Anna Kendrick may not be a fragile flower, but her sarcasm is rarely labeled as malevolent. If the report about Anna wishing to even out the cleavage on the posters is true, we also have to investigate what would have pushed her to that level of pettiness. As for Leighton, a wave of cast and crew commentary from the Gossip Girl era hints to conflict that was neither transitory nor insignificant. Throw in the Golden Globes catastrophe and the A Simple Favor 2 meltdown, and you've got a track record. That can't all be made up. So, is Blake Lively the misunderstood saint, or the subtle Hollywood cruel girl? Possibly a bit of both. Stardom does funny things to folks. Some manage it with grace. Others let it inflate their egos like an overdone balloon at a kid's birthday party. Blake is human after all, and none of us are wholly hero or villain. But considering the recurrent nature of these stories, it's safe to suggest she might be on unstable footing in certain circles. All right, take a sign off. Bell, take all right. Drama darlings. We've sipped, we've spilled, and we've dissected. We revisited Anna Kendrick's cynical remarks, soared through the Gossip Girl meltdown with Leighton Meester, and peeked into the rumored blacklisting that might be, giving Blake Lively a serious Hollywood headache. So after all this, what do you think? Is Blake Lively a sweet star who just can't catch a break and happens to rub a few folks the wrong way? Or is she the real-life embodiment of the mean girl vibe? We've been warned about since middle school. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm dying to read your hot takes. Go ahead and pick a side. Team Blake, Team Anna, Team Leighton, or Team. Why can't we all just get along? Who do you think is telling the truth? Who's exaggerating? Is it all a big misunderstanding or the result of consistent behind-the-scenes diva behavior? While you're at it, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the Scorpion session, and make sure you're subscribed so you're never out of the loop on Hollywood's juiciest drama. If you've got any wild theories, maybe it's all a PR stunt, maybe it's an elaborate rose to hype future projects, hit me up in the comments. I live for your conspiracy theories, babes. Hit me up on the new episodes of my podcast. It's all the juicy, and with that, I'll leave you with the only sign-off that truly fits our brand of playful chaos. Stay messy, stay blessed, because in a world of carefully curated Instagrams and publicists, spinning everything to look perfect, we could all use a little messy honesty now and then. Until next time, my loves, KO for now, Palm P.